What's up, everyone? Okay, so as you can see here, I have quite a few pedals. I just they're all over the place. This is not how I normally organize everything, but I'm in the middle of making a bunch of different videos. So, and I had to clear off my desk because I'm about to do my podcast tonight with my good friend John. So I've got everything everywhere. I've got patch cables, my camera, microphone, my new pedal, the Rev G4, and the Plumes, which both sound really amazing. Sorry if my microphone placement seems odd. It kind of is. So I just wanted to point out that I'm going to be making more videos coming up. I'm going to be doing a lot of versus content. So the Metal Zone versus whatever other distortion pedals I have, which is going to be the iMaster, the Death Metal pedal, the Uber Metal pedal, the other Metal Zone. This is actually the Metal Zone 30th anniversary edition. Excuse me. And this is the Wazacraft, which is, I think out of all the Metal Zones, that one's my favorite because you can get your standard metal tone or Metal Zone tone and then their Wazacraft tone. So if you're thinking about buying one, spend the extra 20 or $30 or whatever the difference is for the Wazacraft because you basically get both pedals in one. There's a little button right there in the middle. This one right here. And you can switch between your normal mode and Wazacraft mode. Burp, excuse me. And then I've also got a Metal Moth, which I'm going to be versing off against the Metal Zone. This Rev 4 pedal, man, it's pretty sick. Or Rev G4 rather. I like it a lot. I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna do versus videos where I verse everything versus the Metal Zone, both Metal Zones, and then every other pedal I have versus the G4 as well because it's just such a good pedal. I would have to say also for the money, the Metal Muff is really good. I don't remember what I paid exactly, but it's around $100. This was quite a bit more, and this one is kind of in between this this pedal. This Metal Zone is kind of in between this one and this one. So if you're like on a budget, I'm gonna say go with the Metal Muff. If you've got money to spend and you don't care, Rev G4. And if you're kind of in between, I would say you don't want to spend the money on this, but you want to spend a little bit more money than this. Go with the Metal Zone. It's a win. This one, I've never actually used the heavy metal, the Boss heavy metal HM whatever it is HM2. I think that's what this one is supposed to be like because it sounds a little different than the Metal Zones, but it's still a decent sounding pedal. It's not my favorite. It's my least favorite out of all of them, but you can get a tone with it. This Uber Metal, I think, is supposed to be pretty much a clone of the Metal Zone, and you can get it to sound pretty damn close. The Death Metal and the Master Metal, both Digitech, they both sound good. They're both very similar to the Metal Zone. I wouldn't say they're exact, but they're so damn close that you can get them to sound in the ballpark. So if you want to save even more money, I would say go with the Uber Metal. This is like $30 or maybe $25 brand new. It is a plastic casing. All the others are metal. So if you don't want a plastic casing, I'd pass on it. Look for a used version of this because I don't think it's in production anymore, or a used version of this, and that'll save you some money where you can get that Metal Zone tone ballpark area and save a few bucks versus buying one of these brand new. Obviously, you can probably find these used. You can get a used old school original Metal Zone and it'll sound awesome. I did have an original Metal Zone that I tried out against this one to see how close they sounded. They sound the same. So this is I bought brand new off of Sweetwater, the 30th anniversary edition, and it sounds just like an original pedal from the early 90s or mid 90s. So if you're unsure and you want to buy a brand new one, I'd say look for a brand new one on like Sweetwater. I think the 30th anniversary was a few dollars more, not a big deal, like maybe like $10 more or maybe less than a regular Metal Zone that they produce now. That's not the Wazacraft. The Wazacraft was a little bit more, like maybe like 153. I think I paid. I think this was like 112 or 118 or something like that. And then just like a regular metal zone, a regular Boss metal zone is like around $100, a little more than $100, I think. This I think was like, I don't know, between 70 and $100. I don't remember exactly. So for you can get a good metal tone out of a lot of these pedals, and you don't have to spend a ton of money. I've got some overdrives over here. The Demon Effects Tube Screamer 2. I have the original Tube clone Tube Screamer, the green version. I did a video with those two versing each other so you can see the differences. To me, there's really almost no difference. It's so minimal that it doesn't pick one. Which color do you like better? It literally comes down to that. I mean, there could be a slight difference, but it's so minimal that I don't think you're really going to notice a big difference. And they're both about the same price. So that's why I say when it comes to this Demon Effects pedal, yeah, this one has some kind of switch you can switch on inside where the other one doesn't. But I switched it on. Again, I don't notice any difference really. So it literally comes down to these are like $30 a piece. Which color do you like? Go on that. I actually used them both together and they sound great. You're boosting your signal even more. I got the plumes. I think this one's good. It does sound very similar to the Demon Effects ones, but this one has a lot more gain dB than the other ones do. So yeah, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a promo video. Here's my little shitty setup right here. No fancy amps. So whatever tone you hear me, playing, it's playing through these little tiny cheap little shitty amps. I mean, they're not shitty, but they could be looked at as that. I think the Joyo is actually a decent amp. This little Hotone, couldn't get the word out of my mouth. This one is the Vulcan 5.0, so that's supposed to sound like a 5150. It sounds good. One of these days when I get an actual EVH 5150, I'll do a versus video between that amp and a real one, so you can see the difference. I've never played a real Mesa Boogie in real life, so I couldn't tell you if the Joyo sounds like a Mesa Boogie, but it sounds cool. It's good. It works. So yeah, this is my little setup. I don't have all three cabinets plugged in. I usually either plug one of these and this in, or both of those in when I set it up like this, or just this one. So yeah, there is everything. There's that.